You may have heard the term flex space before, and it is important to know the significance of flex space in commercial real estate. In fact, for beginner and expert real estate investors both, flex space can be a great gateway into the industrial real estate realm, as it is extremely versatile in the way that it can be used and with the many businesses that these spaces are able to house. Here's everything that you need to know about flex space. First, what is flex space? Well, flex space can be loosely defined as any building, typically single story, that has some sort of combination of warehouse space and office/retail space. These units often have a warehouse door or loading dock with a higher ceiling height, often around 14 to 16 feet tall. Flex warehouses come in all shapes and sizes, and because they have such variable uses, these types of buildings are very attractive to a wide array of businesses seeking space. Potential occupants can include manufacturers, brewers, artists, auto shops, and cabinet makers, just to name a few. Let's talk about research and development. Companies involved in medical research, biopharmaceuticals, and other research and development fields usually look for spaces that can accommodate both their office and lab needs. These types of companies usually end up being long-term tenants because they just don't like to move. R&D companies oftentimes group themselves together, meaning that if you get one company to occupy some of your space, it's pretty likely that you're going to get some other R&D companies to follow suit. Now let's talk about the advantages of flex spaces. For small businesses looking to centralize their operations, flex space is a perfect option. For example, if you're a furniture maker like Goodwood here in Nashville on Dickerson Pike, you would use your flex space not only as a retail shop to sell your goods, but you would also have a workshop and storage room where you would keep all of your equipment and materials as well. Along with savings on costs and simplifying transportation logistics, this product type creates an aesthetic boosting synergy that is created because customers are able to see a glimpse of the process on how their new piece of unique heirloom furniture was created. Flex space is also great for local small businesses. For the businesses that are just getting started, flex space can be a solid option because it provides that office space where your management and team can work out of, as well as that warehouse and manufacturing floor. This layout allows for employees to communicate face to face and allows them to work on the floor and then move to the office to do tasks that require a desk or a computer. For example, my commercial real estate brokerage, the Cauble Group, was able to help move a local design company into a flex space here in East Nashville, where they were able to do all of their design work at a desk and then walk to the back warehouse space as a warehouse and a workshop to create their beautiful art. It makes your operations seamless for the business, and it can also be pretty cool to be able to walk your customers through the warehouse to show them how everything is run. Now let's talk about flex space in Nashville specifically. The rental rates on Nashville's flex spaces surpass most of the industrial markets in the Southeast at an average of $12.44 per square foot at the time of this recording. Second only to Raleigh, North Carolina at $13.92 a square foot, which if you're looking at that from an office or retail perspective is pretty cheap. But if you're looking at it from an industrial perspective, it can be kind of expensive. That's because the rates are actually blended across the two. Even with the wave of industrial development happening in Nashville, developers still haven't quite been able to meet the overwhelming demand of industrial businesses moving to Nashville. So if you are out there wondering what type of space you should look to develop, I've been telling people for years to focus on flex space because those are the small, local, mom and pop, blue collar businesses that need space and nobody's meeting that demand. Now let's talk about investing in a flex space. There are clearly many users for flex spaces, and these types of properties are, for lack of a better term, flexible with whom they can accommodate. Last year in Nashville, the flex space category saw an incredibly low vacancy rate at a mere 3.8%. 3.8% vacancy. This statistic alone speaks for itself, but when coupled with the fact that flex spaces see the highest rental rates of all types of industrial real estate, makes flex space properties incredibly valuable and stable. They also offer quite a bit of versatility. Flex space is a great investment because even in a worst case scenario, you should be able to fill the vacancy in your flex space due to a wide variety of uses. For example, if the demand for your warehouse is ever struggling during your vacancy period, you could simply market your space as general office or retail, or vice versa, depending on where the location is. Now let's talk about leasing flex space. If you have a business that has both office or retail and warehouse needs, it's wise to consider searching for flex space instead of just separating your warehouse over here and having your retail presence over here. First, flex space is typically cheaper than traditional office space. Now, that's not to say that your building will be of lesser quality, but that you will be paying less for virtually the same product. Along with saving money on rent, you will also have many options on how you'd like to build out your space instead of being restricted to the basic layout of a regular office. So there you have it for everything that you need to know on flex space in the industrial sector. If you'd like to learn more about industrial real estate, check out this video here.